Good day, everybody. Welcome back to the stream. Today we are continuing our Kangaroo tour. We are currently in Singapore, where we left off on the last one, and we're doing a short flight. It's not too long, just over an hour in the air as we head down to Jakarta. Weather's looking good. It's pretty much like this the entire way, so it should be a very, very nice flight, and we should get some good views of Indonesia as we head down. Here with Nick again, still having that model matching error with the Qantas livery, not sure what it is. But he's over there in that blue-tailed, well, what's showing us as a A319, but he is actually in a Qantas, same as us. Anyway, let's hop into the cockpit and we can start doing our preliminaries for this flight. Alright, so here we are on board. This is the A320 NX Airbus. So as you all probably know by now, it is a standalone aircraft and no longer a mod of the Asobo A320. Alright, let's get that in. There we go. So we'll get that in and we can start going through our pre-flight. So I'm just going to check parking brakes are on, flaps are up, spoilers are retracted and disarmed, weather radar is off, predictive wind shear is off, engine masters are off, ignition's on normal, thrust levers are idle, gear is down, and wipers are off on both sides. I'll start getting set up now. There's the batteries coming on. External power is already on. Brake pressures are good. Cockpit lights, we don't need the dome lights on. And we'll get our panel lights up. Again, like I said, this is a short flight. It's only down to Jakarta. After that, however, there's a couple longer flights as we head into Australia. That'll be next week. Next Friday will be the leg from here to Darwin, and then on Sunday, Darwin to Sydney, where we end the Kangaroo tour. Flight fan, hello, welcome to the stream. Glad you could join us. Starting to do our setup here. Just turn up the McDoos a little bit. There we go. The integral panel lights up. I like it, just gives a little bit more definition to what we're seeing there. And we should be good. Instrument displays and brightnesses are all done. APU fire. Test now. That's good. Crew oxygen supply is on. Cockpit voice recorders are tested. And we'll get the adheres up and dialing in. It's 1, 2, and 3 over to nav. Exterior lights, we'll put the nav logo lights on. Get the signs up. And cabin crew. Yep, you can sit in business there, flight fan. No problem. And the flight's only about an hour as well, so shouldn't be too bad. Okay, cabin crew, you can have the passengers start boarding when you are ready. Emergency exit lights are now armed. Okay, ventilator lights are checked. Everybody's starting to come on board now. Probe and window heats are on auto. APU we will not start yet. We're going to be here a while still. Aircraft temperature, it is, again, we're down in the very warm South Asia. I think it's 28 degrees here right now. We'll check the weather in a minute. Aircraft temperature, ECAM page. Go to electrical. It's all fine. Everything is powered. It is looking good. We're not going to turn the batteries on and off. That's fine. Fuel pumps are off. We'll do the engine fire tests for engine number 1 and engine number 2. Flight director is coming on. I'm going to throw this in now, and then we'll go get the weather. There's the flight plan in. Clear the messages. We'll get the weather, and we'll get the ATC as well. We do have ATC up currently in this area, so we will be talking to them very shortly. Does it? It didn't earlier. Maybe it's changed. I'll have to check that weather when it prints out. And we'll do our ATC, and we want for here at Singapore. We'll print that out. Go to our messages received. There's the METAR station not available. So there we go with that one. If I look at the real life one, there's nothing. Winds are dead calm. A few clouds at 2,000, 28 degrees. Hopefully it stays that way. Let's print that out as well. Can't turn that way when I'm in that view. So look at the weather for now. 13:30, so 40 minutes ago. 060 at 5 knots. Visibility is fine. Few clouds at 1,800, broken at 30,000? Really? Okay, 28 degrees and QNH 1011. So we're going to put the 1011 in. There we go. And we will set that on both sides. Throw our constraints in. FCU, there's the initial, we'll check and see what's still in the ATC. There's an initial thing about a 3,000 foot initial altitude. Speed and heading should both be managed. That is fine. Radio setup. So, we have online right now clearance delivery, which is the first one we're going to need. So 121.65. So we'll dial that in first. There we go. The second one we're going to need is ground on 124.3. That's 124.3. We'll dial that one in. There we go, 124.3. We've also got tower up, and we have departure online as well.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard. This is your flight attendant speaking. At this time, please be sure to make sure all
MCDU data.
and your small items are underneath in front of you. If you have any trouble,
So flight level 25 or Continental X25 flight level 370 Tropo is almost right on.
Please close the bin as a courtesy to other
So we'll start entering in the rest of the information.
Please clear the aisle and sit down in your
So we're
seat to allow other passengers to find their seats as well.
60.2
If you are seated in an emergency
tons,
exit row, please read the exit
and our
signal
center of
sign
gravity
with your
is
card in the seat back in front of you.
28.8.
Please make sure you are willing and able to perform the actions required.
Block fuel
If you are
today
not
should
able
be
or prefer not to perform these
54.
actions, please let a flight attendant know.
54, that's perfect.
Feel free to use your
Or
cell phone during the rest
5.4
of the boarding
tons.
process, but we do ask that laptops, tablets, and any other
There we
larger
go. Now our
devices are
trip
stored
wind
once
is
per
a headwind of
station
5
and
today,
welcome
so we're
aboard.
going to put that in as well. And headwind of 5. That is giving us a fuel prediction of 2.4 tons on landing. And the alternate airport's like 3 miles away, so it's pretty much the same thing. We'll go over to our flight plan today. We're using 02 left as our departure today, so we're going to pump that in. So 02 left, and it's on the Andy 6E for our departure. And our arrival into Jakarta, I've currently got set up for the ILS for runway 24, and there's no stars, so that is fine. We'll just self-vector ourselves in. So if we take a look at the ATIS now, information Charlie, time, sign ILS, runway in use 02 left. Center and right are closed, and surface winds fine. We got the weather. Dew point fine. Changi departure initial climb 2,000 feet. That's still the same. Refer to charts. Aircraft on ground. Set responder on standby. So don't put it on until we're ready to go. And information Charlie on departure. So now we'll go to our performance. And our performance numbers for today has a transition altitude of flight fan, the alternate is WIII, which is kind of next door. The transition altitude is 11,000 feet. We saw that when we came in here the other day, so we'll go 11,000 feet for the transition. It is going to be a flaps 1 takeoff, and we are 0.1 down on the trim. We are going to flex today 67 degrees, and that will give us a 132, 133, and 137 for RV speeds.
Request VFR clearance to destination. We have information Delta.
The ATIS is coming from VATSim, not the sim itself. So in real life, those runways are currently closed. So that's why the VATSim ATC is doing that. They are following the real world procedures. So you can see here.
Your time now.
Oh, thank you. It looks like everybody's on board. You can see here the ATIS is saying that the runways are closed and stuff. The sim ATC wouldn't tell you that.
Standby for clearance.
Alright, so we have our performance data. MCDU is set. RadNav we will check.
Singapore Tower, Philippine 264 with information Delta requesting clearance.
Don't need anything for our departure. For the arrival,
Philippines 264, Singapore delivery
should be 111.7, which is correct for the ILS, and we're going to put in 11.
Philippines 264, please our flight plan to Hong Kong.
0.3. No, that's incorrect. 113.3, which is the VOR down at Jakarta. And it'll just give us, because I don't know if this is a DME on the ILS, so that'll give us that information.
Has been submitted.
So it's time for our clearance. And let me just tell the guys on the ground we'll be ready shortly.
Cockpit to ground. Go ahead,
Philippines
flight deck. We'll be ready shortly.
264, your flight plan is still going. Your flight plan is due for Kuala Lumpur. Could you please refile?
Delivery, good afternoon. It is Qantas 5556 with you. We have information Charlie looking for our clearance to Jakarta.
Qantas 5556, good evening, Singapore delivery. Information, Delta is correct. Stand by for ATC clearance, year number 2.
Standing by, Qantas 5556. Alright, looks like they've just updated ATIS. I'm just going to make a little correction in my flight plan to reflect the actual departure we're going on. There we go.
Singapore Tower, Philippine 264. I believe I have set the correct flight plan.
So now we're waiting.
Philippines 264, your flight plan is due for Kuala Lumpur.
So I'm going to make a note here. Tower frequency is 1186.
Affirm, I'm flying to Kuala Lumpur.
And Singapore departure is 1246.
Philippines 264, you said Hong Kong just now, but no problem. Information, Delta now current. Stand by for ATC clearance, year number 3.
Philippine 264.
Question is he going to start giving us these clearances? Don't want to start debriefing yet because he's going to probably jump in right in the middle of it. So while we wait, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the channel. I do multiple videos and live streams a week. And some of them are tours like this one. Some of them are scheduled airline flights. Some of them are general aviation sightseeing flights. All kinds of fun stuff. If you have any comments, please leave them in the chat or in the comments after this is streamed. Consider throwing a like on the video. Everything helps. It helps grow the channel. It helps make us more visible. And this helps us build our little community here that we have going. Not sure exactly what we're waiting for. This is a little issue I've seen on this version. My airplane not showing up. Hopefully that's updated. I still have to update my experimental version of this aircraft. It's a few days out of date now. But hopefully we can get that done shortly as well. Well, I just have to get the time to do it.
9 Mike Papa Sierra Alpha, Singapore delivery.
Go ahead.
9 Mike Papa Sierra Alpha, you're
Yeah, he is.
as filed. Expect question, expect 3,000 feet, squawk 0105.
0105 for Papa Sierra Alpha. Flight plan reach for Papa Sierra Alpha.
Flight fan, I'm using the experimental version. It's about 4 days out of date for updates. I've got to update that, but I prefer the experimental. I prefer the custom fly-by-wire control system they've built.
Singapore delivery, Papa Sierra Alpha ready for departure.
9 Mike Papa Sierra Alpha, stand by.
Standing by.
Oh boy. Alright.
9 Mike, Papa Sierra Alpha, contact Singapore approach 124.6.
Singapore approach.
Approach 124.6. Thank you.
Really? Okay. Well, our IRSs are aligned. Take a quick look at the flight plan.
Qantas 5556 ATC clearance.
Go for Qantas 5556.
Qantas 5556, my apologies, flight level 370 unavailable due traffic. Alternative flight levels 350 or 390, please advise.
350 for Qantas 5556.
Qantas 5556, roger, you're cleared to your destination via the Anito 6 Echo departure. Expect flight level 350, squawk 0176.
Cleared via the Anito 6 Echo to destination, expecting flight level 350 and squawk 0176, Qantas 5556.
Qantas 5556, read back correct, contact Singapore ground 124.3.
Ground for push and start on 124.3, Qantas 5556. Alright, so that is in there now. There's our squawk code. So we take a look at the route. We're going to take off to the north. We're going to make that right turn around, and we'll head downwards along the SID, and we're going to come out basically flying to the southeast. You can see coming along, and then we're going to self-vector ourselves in and around, and we'll pick up the ILS. It's almost a straight in, actually, to the intercept, and then we'll come down and land in Jakarta. So we'll dial that back. So we got our clearance. We got
Philippines 264 ATC clearance.
our IFR, flight plans reviewed, EFIS nav aids are on, and we will do our takeoff briefing. Let's just switch that over. I'm going to get tower in here now, 118.6, so that we're ready to go. Okay. So we're going to do our briefing now. And I just have to bring it up on the screen for you. There we are. So here we are up in Singapore. Like as I said, we're going to take off up to the north and make those right turns around. If we look at the departure, there she is there. We're going to head off on a 230 heading up to Topham, and we make the turn here and the turn here. We've got a 6,000 foot hard limit here at Dogra. We'll see what they give us for our departure. And then we come down here and then join on at Anito onto our main route. And so we will set I'll set 6,000 and we'll go from there. So that's it. There's no real obstructions or anything. It's pretty flat ground. The weather's fine. There's not a lot of traffic in the area, so we should be good that way. So the squawk is set. So we're going to come up here. We'll get the APU up and running and get ready for our push and start. So APU master is on, APU has been started, our weights are in, takeoff performance has been checked, V speeds to confirm is 132, 133, and 137. 132 is showing, 137 is in as our climb out. Just waiting now, 73%. It looks like tower just logged off. Ground is still online though. Hey, Bonarian pilot, how are you today? Hope you are doing very, very well. I always forget to take that off the screen. Thanks, Nick. All right. So the APU is now up and running. So APU bleed is on. And all the bleed air starting to pump in now. External power is disconnected. And the air conditioner is going. Singapore ground, good day. Qantas 5556 ready for push and start.
Qantas 5556 Singapore ground, good evening. Pushback approved, face south.
Facing south and push approved, Qantas 5556. Alright, windows and doors are
good evening, ground, Qantas
all
2021, ready
locked.
start.
Qantas 2021 Singapore ground, good evening. Pushback approved, face south.
And they are pulling the jetway. There she goes.
Gentlemen, and welcome aboard flight 5556 with service to Jakarta. Our flight time will be roughly
Fuel
1
pumps
hour.
are all coming on.
Minutes. Now that the cabin door is closed, please make sure that all
Beacon light
devices
is
are
on.
in airplane mode and your large devices
Steering
are now
pin.
shut down and
We'll
stilled.
watch for it
Please
to be
fasten your
inserted.
seatbelt and make sure that all tray tables and seat backs are in a full upright and
Singapore
locked
24, contact Singapore approach 11, question 124, decimal 6.
Go ahead, fly deck. We're ready for pushback.
124, decimal 6 for Singapore
Roger.
24. Good night, thanks.
Release the parking brake, please. Parking brakes released. Pushing back.
So transponder is staying on standby as per instructions. TCAS is on above. And we will set that to TARA, that's fine. And we will start the clock as soon as we move. Parking brake has been released. And we are good across the board there. Telly's just in front of us there. And there's the push. Clock is running. See the nose wheel steering disconnect has come up. I've inserted the pins. That's good.
You are clear behind and you can start your engine at your discretion.
Clear to start. Starting engine number 1. And we're going to go outside just so I can see where we are in regards to the line here. Yeah, I did call for push and start flight fan. Sorry, I didn't see your message earlier. Just making sure we got through everything and we're ready to go. Can never get this judged properly. That will be good enough. All right.
Pushback complete. Set parking brake, please.
Parking brake set.
Roger. Okay, the tow bar is disconnected and the equipment is clear. We will see you on the left side with the pin.
I
Thanks,
clicked
and
the
you can
wrong way.
disconnect and go to hand signals.
Thanks, have a good flight. See you later.
Please securely
That's what you
stow
get
all
for jumping out
items.
early.
Make sure your seatbelts
Not
are
confirming.
fastened and seat backs and tray tables are all in their full upright
Accidentally
position.
switched at the
We
crank when I
remind you
clicked
that
on it.
This is a non-smoking flight, and that includes vaping. tampering with, disabling, or destroying the smoke detectors located in the lavatories is strictly prohibited by law. All of this information can
I
be
love her
found in
attitude
the
in there,
handbook
and that
in the seat back in
includes
front of you.
vaping.
Please read it and let a cabin member know if you have any questions. Thank you for flying with us again, and we hope you enjoy your flight.
Alright, tug's leaving. See, the nose wheel disconnect is gone, which is what we want to see. Let's go start engine number 2, and we'll go outside and give it a listen. Do love the sounds they've got in this thing. She's winding up there. %. Circuit breakers are clicking. And engine 2 is available. So mode selector will go to normal. APU bleed will come off. APU will come off. Anti-ice as required. We don't need any anti-ice today. It's a good thing about being where we are in the world. So before taxi checklist, auto brakes will go to maximum. Spoilers armed. Flaps to take off. Engine anti-ice not required. Flight controls. It's full left, full right, neutral, full forward, full back, neutral, full left, full right, neutral. Cabin is ready. Steering pin is confirmed, removed. Pitch trim, we want 1 down. There we go. And rudder trim is neutralized. I'll get the nose light on for taxi. Singapore ground, Qantas 5556 ready for taxi.
Qantas 5556 taxi Victor, South Cross 1, holding point Whiskey 9er, runway 02 left.
Taxi Victor to Sierra Charlie 1 and holding point Whiskey 9er for 02 left, Qantas 5556. Alright. Parking brake is removed. We'll give it a little bit of throttle. We'll do a config check.
Ground, Qantas 2021, ready for taxi.
It's good.
Qantas
Brake check.
2021, traffic is a Qantas Airbus A320 taxiing in front of you.
In the cabin.
Behind the mentioned traffic, taxi Victor, Sierra Charlie 1, holding point Whiskey 9er, runway 02 left.
Roger, aware of the company traffic, taxi via Victor, Sierra Charlie 1, Whiskey 9 for 02 left, Qantas 2021.
Alright, so here is
Philippine 264 dash push and start, ramp Alpha 11.
Victor coming up.
Philippine 264, set squawk 0161.
We're doing this little jog here. And then down Victor.
Philippine 264,
Fairly short taxi.
squawk 0161.
This is an inside view,
Philippine
which is actually
264,
outside, which is why it's so quiet.
Face south.
Philippine 264, push back approved. Face will be facing south.
We go back outside. Whoop. There we go. Get the actual sounds from outside. Unfortunately, you can't steer from there. Although this does make for an interesting view. So that was Victor 7 we just passed. Victor 8's coming up. And then it's Victor 9 and SC1. Yeah, we'll jump back into the cockpit here. So we're getting close. So everything's ready to go. We have the cabin ready. Everything is planned. So standard briefings, anything below V1, anything happen below V1, we will stop on the runway. If anything happens between V1 and rotate, other than a major failure, we'll take it to the air. If there's a major failure, we will stop on the ground. If we hit rotate and there is any failure, it all goes into the air. We will assess and contact ATC for a return to the airport if required. So this is Victor 9 coming up, and then the next one is SC1. Kind of where that van just went across in front of us. Yeah, and this is the, I guess it's the handcrafted Singapore that Asobo did. Looks pretty good. It still kills me that they don't put gate numbers up. I mean, would it really hurt them to do that? So this is Victor 9. We are going to Sierra Charlie 1, which is the next one. You can see the sign right there, Sierra Charlie 1. And looks like they may put us right over to approach for departure since their tower is offline. You can, if you set failures up, you could have engine failures on takeoff and stuff and all that. So, and some of the payware aircraft that are more advanced, like A2A stuff, you can actually set it up for failures and issues. They're very stressful, and I tend not to do that because I like to have fun and fly. I don't want to, you know, be dealing with engine failures and comms failures and stuff like that if I don't have to. So it is possible to do it. The sim will do it in a way, but some of the other aircraft that you can get or will be able to get eventually had it all built in.
Singapore approach 124.6.
124.6. Thank you very much, Qantas 5556. So we're going to go through our before
2021 contact
takeoff.
approach
Cabin crew is notified. External lights
Over to 124.6.
are coming on. Strobes on. Landing lights are on. And taxi light to takeoff. Anti-ice is not required. Packs are on. That's fine. TCAS is on. We will set transponder now to auto. Weather radar on. PWS is on. Weather mode is fine. Takeoff, no blue, and we're going to go to 124 124.3. So I'm just going to do this the easy. Oh, I already had it set up? No. 124.6. So we'll just do it the easy way. Over here. 2.6. I'm going to set this to 122.8, which is where we're heading afterwards. There we go.
Singapore 24, monitoring Nicom 122.8, good day.
122.8, thank you, good night.
Singapore departure, good evening. Qantas 5556 with you, holding Whiskey 9, runway 02 left.
Qantas 5556, Singapore approach, good evening, surface wind 050 degrees, 5 knots, runway 02 left, cleared for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, Qantas 5556. Alright, so we're good to go. So brakes off, a little bit of throttle to get her moving. So, pool of water down there by the looks of it. Alright, so we're now lined up. Chrono's on, brakes are set. Engines to 50%, spooling up. And brakes released, and we go to flex. Alright, man, flex 67 degrees, SRS. And nav.
Qantas 2021, line up runway 02 left.
Lining up 02 left, Qantas 2021.
V1, rotate. Alright, rotating up to 15 degrees, positive rate, gear up. Feet.
Qantas 5556 identified on departure. Proceed direct dose no. Climb to flight level 240 unrestricted.
Roger. Direct to Dos No and climb direct to flight level 350 unrestricted. Qantas 5556. Alright, so we go.
Qantas 5556, just confirm is flight level 240.
240, roger, Qantas 5556. Alright, so we'll come down here to...
Qantas 2021, surface wind 060 degrees, 5 knot, runway 02 left, clear for takeoff.
We'll go to our direct,
Takeoff 02 left, Qantas 2021.
and we're going to Dos No. And around we go. So S speed's coming up. The flaps are retracted. Ground spoilers are disarmed. And taxi lights are now off. Wing light is off. So we're going to come down at 250 knots. Yeah, Eastbird's it's on. It doesn't matter if it's on or off when you line up. It usually will kick in, and and go on automatically as you start to roll, I find.
Qantas 202 unidentified on departure, climb to flight level 240 unrestricted.
But you're right, it should be on so that when you click in the
240
autopilot,
unrestricted,
it's set and ready to go. All right, we're 7,000 feet already. Thank you, Flight Fan. I enjoyed that departure. It was pretty neat, and he's cutting off a lot of space for us, which is nice of him. So we're heading down to pick up the line here, and then we can see we're turning very gently to pick up the DOS nose there.
Qantas 202 and proceed direct DOS nose.
And then we have Anito, which is the end of our departure.
Proceed direct DOS nose. Leave it at
Now past
202.
2,000 feet, you may turn on larger portable electronic devices. This is also a reminder to please keep your seatbelt fastened throughout the duration of the flight.
10,000
Not form a
feet.
line near the lavatory. This aircraft
So
is
landing
equipped
lights
with
will come
onboard
off.
Wi-Fi. If you wish to connect to the Wi-Fi, you will be required to pay a small fee. We do offer complimentary in-flight TV thanks to our partners.
And since the weather is calm and a little bit of a lockup there, the weather is calm, I'll let you guys use your portable devices and get up and move around in the cabin. Yeah, Eastwards, the way I do it is I go into, I'll change over to standard there. I go into SimBrief and I plan. Now SimBrief looks at the actual real world weather, pulls up the briefing, and creates it based on the information it has from the Navigraph on runways and departures and arrivals. So then you come in and you take a look and it says, okay, is the weather still matching up now that it's an hour or two later when you're actually in the sim? And you go, okay, so now I'm all set, which is fine. And then you look at what ATC is doing. Now, for some reason, as we saw, they have runways closed. So that may be something happening in real life that is not going to be modeled in the sim, obviously. They'd have all the runways there. But it's something that could change, and if you change the runways, your departures and arrivals will change and stuff like that. Departures and arrivals, generally speaking, are a way to keep aircraft in their lanes and separated, especially if there's no ATC. So if there's 7 or 8 airplanes coming in, like when we do some of these EasyJet flights with Gavin, and there's 5 or 6 of us, if everybody is following the SID or the STAR, it keeps everybody lined up and not flying into each other, and kind of organizes things. And if you're flying in with people you don't know, it also helps with that, to keep the separation, so everybody's kind of got an idea of where everyone else is going to be and where they're going. For ATC, they can use it, or they can also shortcut on it. So some of the stars, like you can see this one here, it takes you out quite a bit. I'm not sure the exact distance to top them, but then it's this big, like a square that you have to do. ATC can tell you, because they are controlling the sky, yeah, we'll cut you off, go this way, give you a shortcut on your route and stuff like that, which can help a lot. So yeah, follow, if you don't have ATC, follow the SIDs and stars. If you do have ATC, they may direct you around otherwise, and cut things off. Yeah, Flight Fan, they may be a bit of a pain. They may add a little bit to the route and stuff, but sometimes they're there for a reason. If you try self-vectoring in the mountains, you're going to run into a mountain if you're not following the RNAV approaches or whatever they have there. So it is real world. If you want to simulate the way it's done in the real world, it's the way it's done. I don't mind them. I let the aircraft follow them. It's part of the procedures. Yeah, it doesn't know. Well, You may have people that don't follow them, but generally speaking, yeah, if there's a failure or if you don't have ATC, because a lot of them give altitude restrictions and they also give speed restrictions.
Qantas 5556, monitoring income 122.829.
22.8 for Qantas 5556. Good night. There we go, over to Unicom. So, yeah, they can be a bit of a pain. Yeah, they can, you know, add to your route or seem like you're going off in directions that you don't necessarily want to or need to. But, like I said, it is the way it's done in real life. And again, if you're flying into somewhere busy, and I have gone into places where you would think there would be ATC up, but there isn't, and there's a lot of airplanes coming in, it really helps keep that separation and stuff and keep it real. Who said it? Flight fan, Russia. Yeah, it depends where you are in the world. Some places are better covered than others. Sometimes you do get coverage. Sometimes it's only center and they're doing everything right to the ground with you. Yeah, Auckland's got some weird ones. You always got to make sure you've got the most appropriate one as well. That can be an issue. Because every runway has a different SID or star for the points, the exit points type of thing that you're going to. All right, we're going to put in 370 here since we are cleared to, or 350 since we're cleared to be on our own here. And I've got to change that down here because we're now 350. There we go. I'll put us into cruise. Yeah, flight fan, that's up to you. If you want to do that, I mean, fly the sim the way you want to fly it, really.
Move around the cabin. However, we ask that you keep your seatbelt fastened when needed in case of unexpected circumstances.
Although I'll tell you, with Nick and I, we seem to have the habit of flying into somewhere without ATC, and just as we get within a few miles, they seem to pop up. We had a running joke for a while that they were watching, like on VATSim or something, SimAware, and when they see the group of us flying into a location, they quickly jump in and throw ATC up. So 26,000 now. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, you're flying for your enjoyment, right? So you got to do what you feel and what you feel is fun and all that stuff, which is perfectly fine. So it'll be interesting because I'm starting a new series tomorrow night. I'm doing it at 8 p.m. my time, which is midnight in Zulu time, and it's a lot of flying in Europe, in Asia, and then we end in Australia eventually on the tour. So there should be more traffic control online, because for 8 o'clock my time, 8 p.m., it should be 8 or 9 morning time over there. So hopefully, I'm hoping by doing it that way, I'll get more Asian ATC up and running, as we're basically flying to all the capitals in Asia, and then down into Australia and New Zealand to wrap it up. Is that flight fan? Is that like right now? It's 1 a.m. for you at the moment. Wow. Eastwards, no, it can be done part way, and that's where you got to make sure that you're pacing yourself on your approach. I've seen it done at the entry point. I've seen it done part way where they just let you cut or tell you to cut the corner. If you can't do it, you can always say you're unable to comply with that direction. Never do something that you can't do or you don't think you can do. Oh, when I do that series. Yeah. Oh, I guess you're over in Europe then, in the mainland Europe. Yeah, I'm doing it for a couple reasons. One is it gives me something to do at night. Gavin streams for me. I'm getting up at like 4 in the morning to start prepping for them, so they're a bit early. So I'd like to do something at night and for North American viewers. But then I want to do the stuff in Asia, and I want to be able to capture the ATC. So if I do stuff during the day here, it's at night over there, and a lot of the time there's not a lot of ATC up. So we're gonna do it that way and see how that goes. So while we're climbing up to altitude here, I'm gonna stay on the mic. It's a short flight, so there's no point in me going anywhere. I do want to turn that on, and I mean we're only 430 mile. No, it's 11. It's almost 11 a.m. For me now, so I'm in the Eastern time zone. Yeah, if you've got Eastward, if you got like a square and they want you to cut across, and you say no, can't comply, I'm too high, too fast, or whatever it is, then or you can't get down in time based on your aircraft and stuff, you just say no, can't comply. You know, I want to do the entire star. Oh, is that why you wouldn't give it to me? What? We're the only 2 aircraft in this, South Indonesian area, and no, can't give it to you because of traffic. That's fine. Anyway, let's get a little bit of a window view here. I'll throw up the map. Let's see where we are. Why did they tell you to go around, Flight Fan? Was another aircraft on the runway? Now I'll sit here at 350. That's fine. Like I said, it's a short flight, so it's not like it's going to make a big difference on fuel burn and stuff like that. Nick, I'm going to check the weather when we get down to that big island. That's about halfway. Not Indonesia itself, but the island just to the east of it. And then see if the weather's come in. Yeah, Flight Fed. I know a lot of the people don't know the intricacies and stuff, but one of the checks you do on landing is to scan the runway and see if there's anyone there. So if somebody gives you, you're cleared to land, and you're looking down and you're a couple miles out and you see an aircraft sitting at the end of the runway getting ready to go, I'd be questioning ATC and said, there's an aircraft on the runway. So if they give you, if they may tell you to go around at that point when you question them. They may have told the guy to go and he's just sitting there, and then he ends up going late. You know, who knows? Oh, Nick, you got that mod? Yeah. It was kind of new. Hey, Willie, good to see you. How'd the rest of the radio show go in the interview with Martin? Yeah, Flight Fan, at that point, it's you know, do you do it like in real life, do the go-around, whatever? Do you land and just say, hey, it's a sim? You know, sometimes you can just disconnect. You know, if things are going really bad on VATSim, you can just disconnect. Well, okay, so you talked to him and everything was good. Yeah, it was the other guy. So, I know Nick's run into it a couple times where, you know, they come on last minute and they're trying to give you directions and, oh, tune this and do this and that, and you're like a mile out from landing. You can ignore them and say, no, I'm not doing it. You know, if you're already set up to land on a runway and they come on and when you're a mile and a half out saying, oh, contact me, do it once you're on the ground. Because remember, your responsibility is to fly the airplane. It happens, Flight Fan. Remember, the interesting thing with VATSim is all the VATSim controllers go through training. Don't know why that just flicked black there for a second. All VATSim controllers go through training. Oh, did he? Oh, excellent. But the pilots don't. You know, I mean, you kind of have to now. You got to do the little exam and all that stuff. Didn't have to do that when I joined up. So there's a bit of a better level of training with the controllers than there is with the pilots. Not all, but there's a bit of a variance there. So sometimes you can get people on that don't know what they're doing, which is a real pain as well. Anyway, let's hopefully you've got a drink and everything from the cabin crew. I know they're actually, what I'm going to do, because it's not picking up that we are where we want to be. I'm going to go back to here. I'm going to put in 370, put that back to that, and then we're going to go up to 370, just because it's not cycling over in the in packs to start the cabin stuff. And while we do that little climb up, we'll watch this. Can't remember which one I put in here for today. I got a pair of them, so. The story of the fish. Yeah, Willie, though, I'll tell you, Nick's got to tone down the chatter in the general aviation sightseeing flights. He's talking a mile a minute there. None of us can get a word in edgewise. Yeah, Flight Fan, I can sympathize with you when you see stuff like that. You just shrug your shoulders and, oh well. And Eastbird, yeah, there's a lot. I can't believe, well, two things have contributed to it. I think you had the fact that there hadn't been a Microsoft flight sim since, what was it, 99, 2000 when FSX came out. So that's a long time. It's a good 20 years. And people have been hoping for something. Prepared is built off of FSX. And you had, of course, you had X-Plane, which was slowly coming along. And then DCS. So I think for the flight sim community, having Microsoft come back and say, hey, we're going to release the flight sim again, was huge. And then when they started showing the screenshots with the modern, like bringing it up to modern standards, it was like, holy cow, that's awesome. The other thing is the pandemic. You had hundreds of thousands of people that weren't working, couldn't go out, were looking for something to do. So they all decided, hey, this is something I can try. It looks really cool. No, not Green. Yeah, Green Hornet, not Green Lantern. And not the Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern either. So that was huge. And that led to things like the shortage of graphics cards, the shortage of controllers. I ordered my throttle quadrant in October, and I'm still waiting for it. It's a Honeycomb Bravo.
Our lovely flight attendants will be starting our in-flight service. We'll be serving complimentary drinks and snacks. Premium drinks are available for a small charge. Please note we only accept credit cards.
There you go. So drinks and snacks are coming around now. So yeah, so that led to the big explosion in it, and I think it's probably made, you know, outside of GTA 5, the flight sim's got to be up there in video games sold. I mean, just ridiculous numbers, which is good. So the more active and the more popular simming is, the more resources are put into it, like anything. So developers and all that type of stuff, which is great. Yeah, so Nick, I was the same. I hadn't flown FSX in about 5 years, and I decided that I was going to get back in it. So when we got into the pandemic, we already knew that this was coming. Oh, hang on. Nobody told me I didn't have the audio on for the cartoon. We knew it was coming, and I was like, okay, well, we're in lockdown and everything. I'm not going to have much to do. I was retiring from work, and it was like, well, time to get back into it. And that's what I've done, and quickly managed to fall in with the EasyJet crowd over there and a couple other little communities, and it is pretty awesome, actually. Yeah, my joystick came, the yoke, the honeycomb yoke came in, 2 months? Or October, November, December. Yeah, they called me in December, and they came in. Massive back orders for the throttle quadrant. I know they're releasing rudders too, but they've got a pair that seem to be good. So I'm not in a rush for them, but really want to get that throttle quadrant. Do I fly for easy? No. The virtual airline I fly for is called Fly UK. So it's a UK-based airline, but has operations all over the world. So there's a subsidiary out in Australia, New Zealand. There's a subsidiary up in Norway. There's a leisure travel vacation subline that flies out of the UK. They use Boeing products. There's a group that fly in Canada and America. So different types of aircraft are used on different areas. So that's where I fly. And as more aircraft come in, it opens up more opportunities for me to fly. So when the Twin Otter comes out from Aerosoft, I'll be able to fly the Scottish little commuter airline that they have set up there, because they use the Twin Otter. When PMPG puts out the 737, I'll be able to fly in North America on that side of the house, because they use Boeing in North America. So it's pretty cool.
Fishing for real airplanes, oyster storm, worming storm, hook so sharp, frying pan. Honest to goodness teacher off the good fishing.
The other neat thing I like about the airline is they have 3 different things. So they've got the scheduled airline operations around the world. Then they have what Nick and I are doing here, which is it's a tour. So they set up these tours around the world you can do. There's like this Kangaroo tour. If you've been on my channel and seen like the tour, the 170 Cessna 172 tour of Ireland that's just wrapped up, and the one I did of Wales. They are general aviation tours that they've got set up. And there's a whole bunch of these things. When I did the Pacific Clippers tour, or flying the A320 across the Atlantic, which was 6 episodes, I think. They're all tours that are set up, so you have that side as well. And then they also have just the general aviation side. So if I feel like flying from my home airport in Canada to Niagara Falls, say, I can log that as just a general aviation flight if I'm in a small general aviation airplane. So stuff like that. There's a lot of variety and a lot of knowledgeable flight sim people in there as well that I've talked to and gotten tips for, especially some of the setup stuff as we were fine-tuning these things early on. Star Alliance is pretty big because you've got all the subsidiary airlines in it, right? So you're basically around the world. Yeah, so Gavin just released a video with the new bearing distance has been added in, so that's handy. All right. We'll try better on the second cartoon in a minute. So since we're here over, let's go out here at the moment. Since we're over that island now, we'll do an update on the weather. So this is what I currently have. So it looks like the winds are out of the southwest at 4 knots. And I'd originally planned the ILS for runway 24, so that matches up. So it looks like as the evening goes on, the winds are getting a little bit stronger and coming out of the west. Well, that'd be a long flight. Is that about 11 hours? 12 hours? Let's go over to this side where we can see some land. 24 airplanes landing? Wow. Well, I'll tell you, I went on to was it VATSim? Yeah, I think it was VATSim. I went on to VATSim, and there was an event going on, and I think it was into Munich. No, it was Iveo. It was into Munich, and I was looking at the map of Europe, and it was almost like somebody had taken a marker and drawn lines from various areas in Europe down into Munich. So there was a line that formed at England and just like was a line right across Europe to Munich. Another one coming out of Russia, another one coming up from the southwest. There must have been 400 planes heading to Munich. It was a controller event, and I'm sure they were just getting hammered. Rather. Oh, you were number 24 for landing. Oh, wow. Yeah, that would be brutal. Flight fan, no, there won't be another flight today. This is the next flight on this one. Carrying on the tour will be on Friday. And then the final flight of this tour will be next Sunday. So if you don't know, this is we're kind of recreating the route that Qantas used to take back in the 30s and 40s before jets were in place. So they would fly from London to Sydney, and they basically do it in 10 legs. Nick and I were talking, we think it could have been done over 10 days. We've split it down because our airplanes are faster to 5 with a morning and an afternoon flight. But this is the route that they would take. So you would fly the leg, you'd be taken to a hotel, you'd stay in the hotel overnight, and then you would go back to the airport, fly the next leg the next day, stay in a hotel again. We've broken it down into 5 days. So this flight here is the afternoon flight of day 4. So we're flying down to Jakarta, and once we do this, at the end of next week on the Friday and the Sunday is the last 2 legs where we head into Australia itself. Those are going to be rather long, so I got to get some new movies to show for the flight. Yeah, Flight Fan, you can usually tell it's an event if all the ATC is up and there's a lot of airplanes around. Then I usually tend to avoid the area. Oh, Willie, did I start that when I put my beaver up in the chat? I know somebody posted up just as I was leaving, they posted a thing up saying beaver tails were so good, and it was the doughy thing that we have up here. All right, one last one, and then we'll do our landing briefing. Okay, Nick, we'll do. Oh, that was you that posted that picture of the beaver tails, yeah. That's funny. We don't eat beaver, we just make them into hats. Oh, while we're doing this. Let's see if we can find it. Just made the turn over the big island there. I'm still showing 200 at 4 knots, so we're going to stick with runway 24. Flight fan, okay, I was going to say if it doesn't go right away, there is a little bit of a cool down between requests. I think that's warmer than it is here. It's nice. Looks like the cabin crew's only coming around once with the drinks cart. It's rather skimpy of them. Flight's too short for a meal, I think. Yeah, you hate it when it's doing that, flight fan, but you think about doing it if you had an engine failure or something. You were trying to sim that, and that. I have heard somebody divert. They it was in Europe, and they contacted them and said they had a medical emergency and they had to divert, and ATC had to work with them to get them down to a local airport, which was interesting. But I'm not sure what their actual policy is on dealing with emergencies like that, if they want them or if they discourage that type of thing. Don't know. Yep, flight fan, that's exactly right. You got to fly the airplane, take care of yourself, and make sure that everything is fine there. Yeah, that's fair enough. Not everybody knows what's going on and how to react themselves if this is happening to somebody else. So I'm assuming if it was quiet, they wouldn't mind, but too many other people would probably react incorrectly, and it could, like you said, have a negative impact. So our expected arrival time is 43 minutes. I think we're going to be a bit early because we got the short cut off the beginning, so it's looking good there. Yeah, like I said, I've got no intention of doing emergencies in these flights. I mean, it can be stressful enough at times. Try landing in bad weather in a storm with a lot of traffic with all the ATC. That's enough stress for me. I do this to have a little bit of fun. I don't want to be stressed out at the end of the flight. Although, it's the same reason I never got my IFR rating in real life. I fly for fun, nice weather, you know, where I can see things and have fun. Not really want to be stressed out too much flying in the bad weather. Oh, getting into some clouds here. Flying in the bad weather. How much further we got to go here? Okay, so we're coming up for 200. We got almost a negligible tailwind. Yeah, I can see that being frustrating as well. Just gonna throw in a beacon. Over on number 2. Let's see if we can pick that up as well. We can kind of talk about our approach and arrival. So here's where we are now. We just passed over that big island, and we're now back out over the water. We're flying down this way. We're basically going to come in and self-turn over and in onto the ILS here. So our okay, flight fan, thanks for stopping by. Appreciate the chat, and have a good day. I'm going to come down to intercept. Platform altitude is 2,500 feet. So it should be pretty simple. There is, as I said, there's no approach for this runway, or no arrival for this runway, so we're just going to kind of self-vector down as before. So for the ILS, we can take a look at it. Again, I'm not sure if there is a DME on it, so that's why I tuned in the VOR at the airfield. 11,000 foot transition altitude again, which is fine. Yeah, DME required, so it doesn't come off the ILS as far as I can tell. We're going to come in, we're basically coming down here out of the north. We'll intercept, make that turn, and then come in. 3-degree descent rate, and looks pretty good. We're coming in on the ILS, so our decision altitude will be 560 feet. So we'll go radio just because I'm not going to have accurate weather, so we'll go 476 on the radio. And the missed approach, climb to 2,500, then turn left direct to AL NDB. So basically, if we miss, we'll go make that left turn and then fly directly up to the AL NDB. That's kind of why I tuned it in as well. So that's pretty much it. It's going to be a pretty straightforward arrival. We start entering our data. So let me do one final weather check. So the winds have shifted slightly, but not too much. They're now 190 at 3 knots. There's haze in the area. Scattered clouds at 1800. So we'll enter in that information. I'm going to turn off this map now. This is no longer required. We're almost there. So the QNH is currently 1012. Temperature is 26 degrees, a little bit cooler than where we were. Winds are 190 at 3. Transition altitude is 11,000 feet. Out of range. What? There we go. And as I mentioned, our decision altitude is going to be 476, and we'll use radio altimeter. So that is all now entered in. And we are set for runway 24. So we're going to begin our descent about 120 miles out. Oh, clouds going by us. And winds are minimal. But we do got to head down a fair distance. And still no ATC. So when we land, it's going to be a right-hand departure, because south is the military airfield. Probably at either Bravo or Alpha. And then we will taxi into the gates. Okay, we are all set. So we prepared the arrival, and the MCDU landing performance is all entered in. Oop, there we go. So you just got a few miles to go, and then we'll start our descent. Sorry, let me get back in here where it's a little bit quieter. So, eastwards. Barrow setting on the approach page is the barometric altimeter reading that you would set for your arrival. So if we bring up the chart again, so we're doing the ILS here, as you can see. Now it is a Cat 1, like it's a basic ILS, so no auto landing is approved. But you can see there's two things here. You've got decision height, or your decision altitude, and then there's this one in parentheses. So the decision height is saying 560 feet. That is the barrel. So when you get your altimeter setting and you set it up, when you hit 560 feet, you have to be able to see the runway. And you'll get the warnings and everything, and it'll say, you know, you're at minimums, can you see it? That's working off the air pressure, the barometric pressure. I don't have an exact, like there's no ATC on to give me the exact barrel pressure, although I've got a reasonable guess at it. So I'm going to use the radio altimeter. Now in the tail of the airplane there's a little radar unit that points to the ground, and when you get down within 2,500 feet it will come up and start giving you the warnings. So the second number here on this chart, where it says 476 in the brackets there, that is the radio altimeter setting. So it's saying 476. That's what it's set up to do, and it will tell you when that is reading that you're 476 feet off the ground. Ideally, the difference between these two is the airport elevation. So it will, it works pretty well on flat areas and stuff when you're coming in, and it gives you that height, especially if you're not exactly sure of the barrel pressure and stuff. It'll give you the height off the ground, which is why I'm doing it. A lot of the times you just use the barrel because you get it and it works fine. There are times you wouldn't use the radio altimeter. For example, if you're landing in some islands in the Mediterranean where the runway is set up a couple hundred feet on the island, but it's sheer cliffs around it, if you're coming into land using the radio altimeter, you're not going to get an accurate reading as you're approaching, because you've got that extra couple hundred feet to the water that you're not getting on the altitude. So you'd want to use barrel for that, which would give you a better smooth reading all the way down. Things like that. Basically, again, baro is your barometric pressure altitude, radio is your radio altimeter altitude. Kind of using different things. You'll hear Gavin say, oh, you use the radio for auto land. And I think what he's meaning by that is, and according to what I've seen HD say, is any Cat 2 or higher, so Cat 2, Cat 3A, Cat 3B, you would use radio as a rule. Anything straight ILS, a localizer approach, or anything like that, you'd use the MDA. That's my general feeling on how it's used. I don't know exactly for sure. Now, something I'm going to be doing in the next little while is I'm going to be doing an IFR course in Microsoft Flight Simulator. There'll be videos, and I'll put them up. But it's going to go through all the basics of IFR flying and everything. So that might be something of interest for people to watch and see that. Everything from how to enter holds properly, the types of holds, how to do ILS, VOR, landings, how to track nav aids, all that type of stuff. So that's something that's going to be coming up shortly. I just got to find the time to do it. And I will remember to turn that off this time. And I think we're getting ready to descend. Yep, I think it's time. So we're going to set 22,500. Actually left it a little bit late, but that's fine. And we're going to start down. Jakarta area traffic, Qantas 5556, leaving flight level 370 for 2,500 ILS, runway 24 at Jakarta.
Please review and complete these forms and keep them with you for presentation upon arrival.
Make sure you fill out your custom forms, everybody. Very important. So I'm actually going to alter this to an initial of 5,000. So we got a couple waypoints we can use as intermediates, so we'll do that and see how we do on the descent. And we're going to bring that speed back to 280. Alright, so we're into descent. MCDU landing performance has been reviewed. TCAS is now set to below. Approach briefing is completed. Nav aids have been removed. Anti-ice not required. EFIS ND constraints, there really are none. Seatbelt signs we will hit when we get down to about 18,000 feet, so last chance to walk around, do your stuff, and get ready for landing. See the island starting to appear out of the clouds ahead. "25 minutes till our expected arrival." So, still think we may be a few minutes early. We'll see how it goes. So again, while we're doing our descent, if you just popped in, if you would hit the like button, consider subscribing if you like the content. Helps grow the channel. We're a small group, but I do a variety of types of flying, from airliners to general aviation, sightseeing to scheduled airline flights. At the moment, it's between this and the CRJ. This is the 50 Air A320, but I fly, general aviation flights, and got some interesting stuff coming up. So I'm going to turn on the train radar just on this side, just to give me a clear screen for the most part as we descend. "66 miles to go. I think I'm going to want to increase my descent rate. So I'm going to take her down to 2600. See if she'll hold speed at that. She may want to creep a bit. I wasn't managed and it was hovering in the 2000 to 2100. Yeah, speed's creeping, so I'm gonna pull the speed brakes out. So we're 53 miles from the airport. And there's that flashing ADF. Again, not sure why it's flashing like that. Very annoying. Now going down at 3,000 feet per minute. Past 20,000, so time for everybody to buckle up. You can see the mountains and the island coming in now. A little bit of scattered cloud, which was expected. 20 miles? Okay. I'll be off well in advance of that. So I'm aiming 5,000 by DKI, and then we'll descend down the last 2,500 feet after that. DKI is there, it's 25 miles away. Start bringing that speed back a little bit. Speed's not reducing, so we're gonna have to go to really throw out the brakes here. So we're cleared down so we can go into our altimeter setting. So, quick check. We're currently 1012. That is now set. Both sides and the standby. It's 15,000 feet, speed's down to 270. This brings the speed back to 260. Should we crank it all the way back to 250. It's 14,000 feet. Shoreline's coming up. Rather steep descent here. There's transition altitude coming up. Put 2,500 back in there.
Ladies and gentlemen, the flight crew has turned on the fasten seatbelt sign. Please return to your seats and fasten your seatbelt.
Landing systems are coming online.
We have begun our final descent into Jakarta. Flight attendants will be passing through the cabin to collect any trash one final time. Please ensure tray tables are stowed and seats are in the full upright position. Please also store any carry-on items.
No.
All Wi-Fi related tasks and stow any larger electronics.
I don't know why it decided to go off on its own there, but I don't want it doing that. Still going to head towards that point there. Alright, speed's coming back. Decision altitude, it's called minimum decision altitude, not decision height. Would be your barometric, and then your decision height would be your radio altimeter. Yes. We're now going to turn on towards our intercept. As we continue down. No, normally you would choose a further out descent and come down at more gradual. It's less disruptive to the passengers. I was just chatting and my point I was going to start descending got past me before I realized it. So normally I would have started further out and come down shallower. But if you have to, if they say like expedite your descent, this is how you do it. You kind of just hit the speed brakes and maximum down angle, basically. Alright, so we're going to watch as we start to level here. We want to be a little bit under control as we do it. Come off that, and we will arm the speed brakes now. We should be fine for the rest of our descent. Alright, so if this is required, train radars on. We do our approach. Nose wheel lights, auto brakes. Auto brakes will set to 1. Spoilers are armed.
2,500.
There's 2,500 feet. Bring in to there. You can see the extended center line off of the runway. So that's where we're headed for the intercept. Speed's coming up as we level. So what we're now going to do is go into approach mode. Speed will come down to 210. There she goes. Oh, we do have a DME on the ILS, okay. We've still got that flashing ADF, which I will turn off for now. The airport is somewhere off to our right, over kind of that way. There we go, 210 knots, 13 miles out. Let's go to flaps 1. And we'll learn the approach mode. There we go. Localizer is alive. Looking for the airport. You can see the lights. Alright, a little bit hazy on the ground. Oh, it looks like somebody's doing their exams out at Dubai Tower. There we go, we'll just get ourselves lined up here. Under 10 miles, so flaps 2. But we're still on 122.8. Jakarta Tower, or Jakarta traffic. This is Qantas 5556. Established ILS runway 24, 8 miles out. So 7 miles, so gear down. So you can see the radar altimeter has come up just in the bottom of the attitude indicator. It says 2270 and it's counting down. Relatively flat ground here, so it's fine, but I have set it for 476 feet. So you should hear the warnings come up. So 6.5 miles. So glide slope captured, localizer captured. Flaps 3, and cabin is notified. Again, we're going to exit to the right, probably Bravo or Alpha. So I'm going to go, it's only 7,000 foot runway, or 9,000 foot runway. I'll go, one will be fine. Indecision, it's horrible. There you go, 3 miles, or 3.5 miles, flaps full. Get ourselves sorted. Everything is set. Gear down 3, green, flaps full, spoilers are armed, cabin notified, landing lights are on. 1,000 feet to go. Fog is cleared. A little bit bumpy.
100 above.
There's our 100 above.
500. Minimum.
Landing.
400.
Interesting trees right on the center line.
300.
Imagine living under here.
200. 100.
Nicely lined up.
50. 40. 30. 20. 10. 5.
And we're down. Reverse is green. Nose planted. Auto brakes on. It's 100 knots.
Having
60 knots. Reverse is off. A little bit of hard braking. Gonna have to check the brake temperatures. Brake fans are on.
Jakarta. The local time is 3:55 p.m. and it's currently about 26 degrees Celsius. You can now use your mobile device.
Jakarta traffic, Qantas 5556, clear the runway.
Stop and the seatbelt sign is turned off. Remember to use caution when opening the overhead bin.
If we go look at our wheel temperatures, you can see how hot they are.
This is your final destination.
That's why we got the brake fans running.
If you're making a connection, we encourage you to check your
Landing
itinerary
lights
to
off.
ensure a smooth continuation of your journey.
Strobe lights off. Come on. There we go. And standby. And weather radar and PWS are off. Taxi in now. Those brake temperatures come down. Probably been an auto brake 3. Interesting trees there at the end, right off the center line of the runway. We're gonna go right here, that's fine. So we'll go outside so we can see where we're going. There's Nick coming in, I can see his lights. Oh, Christian, what do I got the rulers for? I don't have a ruler emoji. There we go, right, look at that, perfectly parked. Alright. Temperature, well, these are dropping. They were almost 400 degrees. They weren't red, they were orange, so that's not bad. Oh, not waiting on the brake fans? Oh, what's the temperature you have to wait? All right, let me do the parking here. All right, that's turned off. Set FC reset. That's fine. We'll come off on the flight directors and landing systems are off.
Traffic, 0214 miles.
That's all off. ND is fine. Anti-ice is all off. Let's see if there's a... We have external power. External power is now connected. Engine masters 1 and 2 are off. Logbook. Go away, logbook. Pumps will come off. and one below 10%. Beacon light will come off. Signs will come off. External power is on. Transponders off. And the door. Can I request? Give me a ground. Open the door. Oh. There's nothing there. Oh, left the taxi light on. I left that one on too. I'm gonna leave that one on. That's right. Not using dual autopilots. I only thought you used dual if you were going to do like a Cat 2 or a Cat 3 landing. There's Nick. Or do you use they only put them direct after lane. Oh, over 500. Okay. Wait 3 minutes. Not using. Normally you wait 3 minutes after landing, or when you are before stand. Put them on. Only put them on directly after landing when over 500. Oh, okay. I'll let Nick come in. I'm going to jump back in because I left the fans going. And they're not needed anymore. Ooh, I like the way they wind down there. Well, there you go. You learn something new every time you fly. Should have probably been an auto brake 2 landing anyway. Would have made a little bit more sense. Let's see how we did on the landing. (208 feet per minute). I'll take it. It seemed pretty smooth too when I touched down, so I'm happy with it. Alright, so thank you all very much for watching the stream today. We're almost done this Kangaroo tour. We have 2 more legs to go. First leg will be on Friday, and the last leg will be on Sunday. And we end in Sydney, Australia. The next leg is from here in Jakarta over to Darwin, Australia. Rather long flights. I'll have some entertainment lined up as per normal, and we can all sit back and watch and enjoy. So thank you very much for watching once again. Check out the channel, lots of interesting videos there, and we will see you all on the next one. Bye for now.